The Mayo Experience.
Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, presented by DraftKings 2022 Super Bowl 56 Best Bets. Remember to smash the like for the episode, sub to Mayo Media Network. If you want more in-depth props and some reasoning behind it and cross-sport props, sub to the Mayo Media newsletter. That post is already up. You can go check it out for free right now down in the description and in the comment section. Give me your best bet for Super Bowl 56. I want to see him because I might bet them all. Who knows? Joining me on the line, Rob Pizzola, Cam Stewart. We have a lot of money to bet thanks to Winter Olympics winners. You guys, amazing.
I mean, that 4-minute handicap I did right before the show last week seems to have proved very fruitful. Johannes Ludwig, classic luging performance, one of the best I've ever seen in my life on the luge track. It's amazing.
Great Britain curlers, mixed curling, beat Fuez. Yeah, we're beating the book. I'll tell you that. It's fantastic. Pat, here's the thing. I'm geo-blocked. I was going to ask my girlfriend to go through my accounts. I'd rather not do that because if I ever screw up or owe money, maybe I should call Pizzola, maybe my boy Vince, Visine Vince, the mailman. Maybe, I don't like to give my passwords for my book, but I'm going to be hella surprised when I hit that Bet365 because I'm geo-blocked. I might have like a few extra $1,000 in there. Let's rock.
Over the course of the last few weeks, we've seen Cam get a BetStamp account. He figured out how to stream on his phone when his power went out. Next week, Cam, we'll try to get you a VPN so that you can just connect from wherever you are.
What, a vape pen? Oh, no. VPN. Oh, I see.
How about this? This could be an assignment for you and all of the listeners out there, Cam, right now. RunTheSims.com is free this week. All you need to do is go to runthesims.com, put in your email address, and you have full access to the 10,000 simulation for player props, the bar graphs, the DFS optimizer, the player projections that you can customize any way you want, completely free for Super Bowl 56. And guess what? There's going to be USFL data on there soon.
Love it. I love the USFL. Great league. Honestly, I got to brag. Pizzola, we had your boy Osa from the Cowboys on, third-round draft pick. He was doing some stuff. It was the best. He was pimping like a credit card. Hey, have you ever been in school and owed a lot of money? Like, the best thing about these NFL guys is they actually don't know anything about any other players in the league other than guys they played, like might have played against or buddies on their team. It's hilarious. Like these guys go on there, like, you're going to watch the game. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just wild. Like people assume that these guys are like following it, watching every game or whatever. They don't give a rat's ass. They just do their thing. Like it's really like it slaps you upside the face when you just realize these guys are in their own little world. Like they know nothing about the rest of the league.
Cam, you are in Los Angeles right now to cover Super Bowl 56. How is Radio Row been? I saw Morency was on the McAfee show. They didn't let you on?
It's okay. I let Gabe do that stuff. I know the guys from Hammer Dawn and whatever. Yeah, Gabe's walking in. He's got a surprise today. I don't know what time it is now. Actually, he's probably going to be doing the show just to date myself. So about 25 minutes. He bought this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful jacket too that he's going to bust on the show, kind of like a wrestler. Here's the deal, Pat. You know me. I'm kind of like the guy and that veteran that just goes in, Rob. You know what I mean? I go do the job and then I go home. I'll meet a couple people. I got to be honest with you. I don't have the guts that he does when it comes like Andre Reed, we met him, Barry Sanders. I just don't want to go up to guy when he looks like he wants to murder somebody and go, hey, can I have a picture with you? It's just, I don't know what it is about me. I'm just like, I always look at them and go, leave them alone. Like they don't want to talk to you. They don't want to meet you. They don't want a picture with you. I'm just different. Like when he runs into guys, he'll like get pics with them. I'm just, I guess I'm a different breed, Pat.
This isn't a Marty Jannetty, Shawn Michaels type of situation with you and Gabe, right? Where he's going to turn on you, put you through the glass window. You think we're Bert and Ernie?
This is the thing about people. Hey, where's Cam? He's got a scooter, got a rickshaw. It's like, no, like Gabe does it. We do shows together, go have a smoke, whatever. We do our thing. We're not Bert and Ernie. We don't live at the same place. We don't sleep in the same bedroom. Hey, he's got, G and I got C. Hey, buddy, we're doing a show today. He's got his business to attend to today. And I do the show with you guys. Like, I don't know what it is about Twitter. Like they think we're like, we live together, we work together, whatever. Like, anyway, we've been doing these things for Pizzola knows. He used to be with us 20 years, 2 decades. We do shows. Like, you know what I mean? He does his thing. I do my thing. And sometimes we get together and have some beers and drink, like party time. But you know what I mean? It's just funny that people think we're attached at the hip. Like I'm a grown man.
I'm with you on not confronting people who look like they do not want to be talked to,
Thank you, Pat.
but because I'm the same
Good
way.
move.
Not that people are really like scouring the grounds looking for Pat Mayo, but it's
Well, they
happened.
might be.
It's happened a few times in situations where I really didn't want to talk to anyone at that moment, and then it's the worst. It's the absolute worst. Yeah, you need to walk up if
It's
they
not
look.
my style, Pat.
What's that?
You know, it's not my style. Like, say Rob Pizzola, like say Dak Prescott, like they got, I don't know what Sleep Number did to get in this Super Bowl, but they got every single superstar Sleep Number. Eric Dickerson, he sleeps on a 90. It's like prison concrete. That means like it's the higher it goes to 100, the firmer the mattress. So anyway, Sleep Number, I should just like can't set up shop with my sleep machine there. Wake up. Hey guys, it's Michael Gallup in the morning. I got Dak Prescott, Robert Woods. Like these guys got everybody. It's crazy. If a guy comes on your show and he's cool, we'll do a pick at the end. I don't chase down people. If we're at the coffee machine, hey man, you want to do like whatever? Like Sean Alexander's here. There's a couple ex-Seahawks. If I see him, I'll get a pick with him, but it's got to be in the right situation. We got to be at the media table buffet, or actually buffet. We'll talk about this later. Oh God, the food. These international media hawks are unbelievable, Rob and Pat. Rob, I used to think the Kazakhstan media at the Maple Leaf Gardens and the Air Canada Center were the worst. These Swedish media guys, I see their table. They're not doing any work. There's 17 cans of Pepsi gone, all the chips. I hit the pop machine. Nothing comes out. I have never, I know I shouldn't say this, but I don't care. I tell the people the truth. This is the worst spread I've ever seen. There's no hot food. Pat, I couldn't get a friggin' coffee. We were there from 11 o'clock till 3 o'clock, 11 till midnight Pacific time, 11 a.m. to midnight Pacific. I couldn't get a coffee till I found this guy from Tourism, Arizona, like in a back corner, and he had a coffee machine and he's grinding up beans himself. Like, this is the Super Bowl. Like, where's Pizza Hut, the sponsors and all these guys? It's unbelievable. There's no food. I bought a friggin' wrap and an Aquafina water. It was $25. I almost lost my mind.
Free stuff though, like if they're giving away free stuff at any event, it brings out the absolute worst. Like Cam, you obviously we worked at the Score back in the day, but you remember those days where we get like a company-wide page or announcements like there's donuts in the lunchroom, help yourself to donuts. You'd show up 30 seconds later and there's nothing left. Like as soon as there's free stuff in any sort of environment, it brings out the worst in people.
You know what it is too? Simple. I'm a vulture, and it pisses me off that there's better vultures. The international vultures are the worst. Like, I've never seen these two British guys. They've done nothing there. They're there. They're the only guys there when we're there all the time. And they have, like, every time the chips come out, they're on their table. Every time we get a fresh drink, it's on their table. God, I can't even get a banana or an apple wrapped in cellophane. These guys, I see just dirty cores on the table. These guys are unbelievable. They got a great grifting game. I can't do it. We're at the bottom in Media Row. They're up in the top media center where all the stuff is, Pizzola. By the time I get there, I'm looking at crumbs. Like it's I just can't believe there's no coffee. Like I'm working all day. Like where's the coffee, man?
Well, I will say it all comes full circle, Cam, because the first time I ever met you, I was in the studio at Hardcore Sports Radio. You were doing Drive This with Richard and Sarah, and I had brought 2 Quizno subs with me to the office because I wasn't going to get a chance to get out for dinner later on, and the 1 sub wasn't enough, so I had 2. And Richard Garner came out of the studio, and I was about to open one needed at a desk. And he's like, Pizzola, he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm just eating here. It's like, if Cam comes out of this studio and he sees that you have subs, you're not going to have subs. I'm like, all right. So I put them on a bookshelf and I put my coat over the subs so that you wouldn't see them when you came out. You were mid-conversation with Morency. All of a sudden, you just started sniffing. Okay. And your scent took you to the subs. You grabbed them and you're like, everybody, free subs. This was exactly what you said. And you opened one up and you ate it. You ate one of my subs on my first day of work.
I will say this, Rob, you're right. Like I can't lie to people. I'm the worst that way. Like with food, I burn like lasers through people's McNuggets and stuff. Like I'm awful. Like when don't go out for food with me. If we're friends, they get it, but I don't steal people's food. Like I've never been, see, that's a misconception. Like I've wanted to many times, but if I see somebody's lunch bag in the fridge, I'm not going to do it. Or if I have done it once before, but I knew I could replace the product within an hour of stealing the product. So they get it back when I'm in a desperate mood, but I don't take people's lunches. But you're right, Rob. I'm pretty bad. I'm actually awful.
Well,
apologize.
Cam, good news for your GeoBlock game. When you go to Vegas next week, you're fine. Just don't connect to Wi-Fi, be on your data, and you will be able to log into your accounts.
Oh yeah, thanks. Oh yeah, Pat, it's the best. You're gonna love this one too. So our old friend Cameron too, Drew from Fantasy Sports Toronto. I'm doing a show with him. I didn't realize what's going on. 40-minute mark, boom, my computer, everything shuts down. They give you 40 minutes of free Wi-Fi at this place, then you got to pay, right? So I'm like, what a stooge. So I got to do all this stuff again. This place is great. It's an Embassy Suites, but they got a great racket going on. When I come back, when I don't have to do Morency's show at midnight or whatever, I hit happy hour. They have free booze, well drinks. I go, okay. I get a couple trays of drinks. These guys are like, oh, God. Like me, like these Americans must hate Canadians. Like me and Morency's smoking a stone. I'm drinking. You know what I mean? They think we're like absolute, like just, what's the word I'm looking for?
Degenerates?
Give me a word.
Degenerates.
Yes, and just animals, degenerates, like absolutely, like they think we're insane. Like they're looking at us like, wow, these Canadians. Like they think Canadians like hold doors for me. I'm Canadian. No, like they're like, you guys are in like we're crazier New Yorkers. Anyway, drinks are free for a while, and then they hit you right there. So you got like a window of 15 minutes to get a couple in, and then bam, the next beer is $12. That's the thing that they do with the Embassy Suites. They give you a taste, and then you pay.
All right. Well, let's try to get paid. Gold picks for Super Bowl 56. I want to remind everyone out there, all these lines coming from DraftKings Sportsbook.com. Additionally, if you want some free money, I got some free money for you. How about this? Go to prizepicks.com, use code MMNNFL. You do that, you deposit $5, and then you place one $5 or more entry on Super Bowl 56, and Joe Burrow throws for more than 1 yard. You get $100. That simple. You got an extra 5 or 10 hanging around? You might as well go to prizepicks.com and use code MMNNFL at first deposit and qualify for that because, I mean, I don't want to say it can't lose, but it's... Rob, what would be the probability on that? Joe Burrow over 1 yard.
Well, I mean, the only way that loses really is if he gets injured on his first drop back. So the probability is 99.99%, I would say.
And I would bet they would probably make it right if it doesn't hit. Wouldn't you think?
I think it's one of those scenarios where they're offering a promo to get you in the door. And yes, if it loses, there's going to be another promotional offer to everyone who lost that bet very quickly.
Yeah, so prizepicks.com, code MMNNFL. My best bet, gold pick for Super Bowl 56. I don't like the spread. I don't like the money line. I don't even really like the total. Right now it's -4 Rams at DraftKingsSportsbook.com, 48.5 if people are wondering. I am going to the prop market right away on this. Joe Burrow over 2.5 carries. I got it at -115. It's -120 at the moment. I ran the Sims, and once again, you can go to runthesims.com and use it for free this week. 10,000 simulations puts his medium outcome at 3%. He's going to go over that number around 61% of the time, the 2.5. And I just think with the way that the Bengals offensive line is stacked up, where it's not good, the Rams have incredible pass rush. And what we've seen from Burrow is his unwillingness to throw it away. He's going to take sacks, but if he sees it coming too early, he's just going to take off. It's not like he's going to rush 7 times for 68 yards or anything like that. But, you get 5 for 9, easy winner. And if they do win this game, Cam, before, and it's not a last-second field goal, we got 3 kneel downs to play with, too.
Love you guys. No, Pat, I've already played it. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to do something a little bit differently, but you are absolutely reading my mail. Pizzola, I'm not sure the same thing. I got in at 10.5. I think it's probably 12.5 now. I'm going to go with my gold pick, Joe Burrow, over rushing yards, 12.5, but I do agree with the carries. Here's the deal. You saw what he needed to do against Kansas City. I said he'd probably go for 30. It is a one-time thing. The Rams, what are they known to do? They're going to bring the heat every single time. Burrow is going to have to escape, make plays. I think he's actually going to run for like 40 yards in this game. So 12.5, Pat, but I like your bet a little bit better, but I'll do my own. Joe Burrow, 12.5 rushing yards. And, it's interesting. Take a look at both quarterbacks. We'll get to this, Rob. I'm not sure what your props are going to be, but even Matt Stafford, deceptive. Like he's starting to run the ball a little bit more. People don't understand this stuff. And, they look at the prop market. And I agree, Pat. The prop market, it's pretty good. And you got to hit this stuff early because if you wake up Super Bowl Sunday and all of us have been gambling for decades and we know this stuff, sometimes these things disappear. It's not like you don't wake up Sunday and go, hey, I'm going to bet the Super Bowl, whatever. If they have too much action on props, sometimes they take props off the board, unlike the game. So if you get it, get a good number, Pat. Love your bet. I'm going to go with Joe Burrow over 12.5 rushing yards. I think he eclipses I think he can get to 40.
Rob, if you're going to bet overs on the Super Bowl, I think the move is to bet them the moment they drop. And if you want to bet unders, wait until the last second before kickoff.
100%. That's probably the best piece of Super Bowl advice you can give to anyone who's betting props for the Super Bowl. If you like an over, you want to bet it as soon as you can. Unders, might as well wait last minute, because this is one of the very few games on the sporting calendar across any sport over the course of the year that is heavily influenced by public money. There's obviously more public money that's going to outweigh the sharper action and professional money in this game. And everyone's like, no one wants to bet unders on these players. The average person, the casual fan who's betting the Super Bowl for the first time, they want to root for overs. So because of that, you tend to get value late on the unders. That's the strategy that I've been playing for many years. And I think that's very good advice going forwards for anyone.
And Cam is right about the props coming off the board, because I was waiting until probably like 3 o'clock today when I would get a DM telling me what the over-under on the anthem was going to be, and then I could spend all my money. But that's not going to be the case this year, Rob.
It's very upsetting.
I know.
It's very, very upsetting. I had secured a very large bet for the anthem this year, which won't happen now. That bet will not happen. Yeah, this one bothers me. So I'll just plain and simple. The information leaked yesterday. There have not been rehearsals yet for the anthem. I assume that wherever this information leaked from, it's either a script of the TV broadcast. Usually they block out a certain amount of time for the anthem, or somebody has obtained the backing track for the anthem, where they know the length of the music, so they can kind of figure out what the length of the anthem is going to be. And once this stuff becomes public knowledge, well, see you later. Sportsbooks start to pull it off the board. They reduce the limits. It's hard to get a bet. But this, unfortunately, I've posted tickets of my anthem bets to Twitter in the past, which were several $1,000s at the time, was a cash cow for many years, because you'd be able to get the rehearsal times fairly easily and just go and bet the anthem. The year that Pink sang the national anthem, the time was posted at like 2:03 or something like that. And she was so far short of that time in her rehearsals. She was like 15 seconds under that time in her rehearsals, that you could actually bet alternate unders that year at like plus 150, plus 200. It was the best. It was guaranteed free money, the best thing that ever happened. But now, unfortunately, people are giving away this information to the public and their paid subscribers. It's very upsetting. I lost a little bit of sleep last night because the dream, I believe, is done.
It's too bad, because I mean, Paul can attest to it. I can attest to it. Feinberg can attest to it. It is the single largest bet I would make every single year. And I would open up new accounts at different places just to get as much money down as possible on the anthem. It seems insane to think that way, but like you said, it was about the freest money you could get on the board.
So I'll tell,
wish I knew this decades ago. Like, I bet it before. Like, you guys, we got to rob a bank together. This is good. Like, I bet on. So you're telling me, like, stone cold locks, Rob? How do you get that information? Like, the thing is, like, you know me, I'm all over the gambling stuff, but you guys are very savvy.
Listen, I'm not going to divulge specifically how I got.
Okay, sorry. I don't want to go to jail.
It's firsthand information, so I would always trust it very much. It was delivered in the form of
code.
You knew the information was so good because they would tell you whether it was sung to a backing track or if it was a cappella or there was a band in the background. You would be able to know whether they were holding the microphone or not in rehearsal, or if they were using a mic stand. Like, it was actually somebody watching the rehearsals themselves. So it, like Pat said, it was free money. I used to deliver it to, I keep it on the down low. I'm not going to publicize this, because the minute you publicize it, like the guy who recorded with the stopwatch last year, thought he was doing everybody a favor on Twitter. Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, go out and bet the anthem. Well, thanks, buddy. It just got removed everywhere because he posted a public video. Idiots,
Rob. Gabe and I talked about it on our show. Remember that guy in Vegas that used to be the ticket guy? He'd go around to casino machines, sports books, whatever. They found it. He made $96,000 a year with like people's leftover 27 cents from a slot machine, 37, $1.02 and whatever. It all add up. Guy went incognito on the news. Hey, everybody, they put him under like a silhouette or whatever. After that, the casinos like, get bent. You can't do that stuff anymore. Like, people are like living their lives. Don't ever sell your grift, moron.
No, you have to maximize that edge for as long as you can. And then you get stuff out of other people. Like, I'd send it to Jeff Feinberg. I'd say,
you never send it to me.
I'd say, when this cashes, you owe me a round at your private golf course. And he'd say, no problem, Rob. And he brings me out to the private course and then cash in some favors.
And then Jeff would tell me, and Jeff would be like, hey, why don't you get me this when this ends up coming through?
Right.
Good
Of
point,
course.
guys. Like, you don't want to tell me I got a big mouth. I'd probably like slip it to the wrong. You guys are smart. You got your little like trustworthy gang. You know me. You might have trust me, but you know some of the people that I know. The party's over. I get it. I'm not gonna hold it against you, Pizzola. I got to be honest with you. Feinberg hasn't invited me to his posh golf course either. It kind of hurts my feelings because we really like each. I like Jeff a lot. Like, I'd love to play a round of golf with that guy.
Well, just reach out to honestly. If you just if you just ask him, he'll bring you out.
Hi, Jeff, could I please play golf at your lovely club? Like,
You don't need to say it
athlete.
like that. When I went and played with him, I was like, "Hey, Jeff, can I get on your course? Can you get me on?" He's like, "Yeah, let's go play a round." I was like, "Okay."
Oh, okay. It's that simple.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Quite literally, about 6 months ago, we had a Twitter DM thread with myself, Jeff, and Cam, where we asked Cam for some specific dates when we could get him out on the golf course. And he said, I'll get back to you guys on that and whatever. Usually these certain days are tough. And who never got back to us on those dates, Cameron?
Rob, you know I'm not just an employee. I'm an old guy, but they tenderize me like meat. Anytime there's an available show, I'm there. Like, you don't think I want to play 36 holes and get wasted? It's my dream, bro. That's why I'm going to Vegas. Like, when I'm done this stuff on Friday, 3:00 in the morning, I got a flight the next day. I'm going to Vegas after this. I'm literally going to take a vacation for the first time or whatever. They're like, hey, you want to do some shows? No, I'm going to take a couple days off with my girlfriend.
Yep.
We're going to relax for a while.
I get that.
I know we're going to a hotel that might have a prostitution ring. I've hit a new low with the Longhorn instead of the El Cortez. But after the 3 days that we're getting for free, we're going to the Suncoast. It is a beautiful facility. And yeah, and I'm going to enjoy myself. You're right, Rob. But I'm sorry, I don't get back. If I don't work, I don't get paid. I'm afraid. That's the thing. I'm not an employee.
Jeff Feinberg might be an insane person, but he does have honor, and I will defend him because he did try to get something going.
Okay.
So I don't want to drag his name through the mud here because he had good intentions.
Yes, he did.
And frankly, you left him out to dry, Cam.
Yeah,
you hung
you're
him
right.
out to dry.
I'm a jerk and a dick and a prick and whatever that. No, honestly, I should have got back, but hey, life's pretty busy. Sorry, Pat.
Well, text me back when I'm in Vegas on Tuesday. I'm not playing Summerlin anymore. I'm playing TPC Vegas now.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'd like to get together with you, Pat, and maybe we can hit the felt. That's my thing. I like to play blackjack and stuff. We can have a couple drinks. It sounds nice. Like, that would be fantastic. And I hope you have fun in Vegas too. I'm going to get there. And I told my girlfriend, I go, like, people go to Vegas to like gamble and go on benders, whatever. I do that on a Monday night sometimes. Like, to me, nothing. I actually go to Vegas to relax. Like, we sleep in, we have a nice meal, like getting a nice, beautiful, like, cup of coffee in the morning at Dupar's and reading the damn newspaper is something that I've been craving for like 3 years. Like, I can't wait just to have a day where I don't have to do anything but gamble my way, meet old guys at the horse book and just have a wicked day, right?
Yep.
Pizzola, like those beautiful days, wags, go meet my Italian buddies. We have a few laughs and I don't have to get like shaken down by, like, I love what I do, but I do it too much. That's the problem. And Renzi, he's in a new league of his own. Like, we're getting older now. We're not kids. Like, I need to take more time off for myself.
You don't have to tell me. I'm younger than you. We established the age difference last week, I believe, or 2 weeks ago. But you need to recharge your batteries every now and then and just get down to do stuff you love. And I bet sports pretty much very close to 365 days a year. And you get to a point where you get some burnout. It doesn't matter whatever you do. So I hope you enjoy your trip. I know whether you win or lose, you'll have a good time anyways, because you'll be in the zone and you'll just be relaxed and doing what you love to do.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Mr. Pizzola, what is your gold pick for the Super Bowl?
So I'm going props this, and I'm going to try to pick some fun props as well as we go through here. If you're on DraftKings, you hit the game totals section. Total players to have a pass attempt. I am betting over 2.5 at plus 155. If this was the regular season, this would be a horrible price, and I would almost certainly always bet the no on this prop if it was a regular season game. This is not the regular season. This is the Super Bowl, and they are going to throw out everything that's in their playbook because this is the final game of the year. And we see this very regularly where you see trick plays in the Super Bowl, whether that's a fake punt, fake field goal, you have a receiver throwing a ball on a reverse. You look at both these teams, you had a lot of guys that used to play quarterback and guys that can throw the ball, and you have receivers that would typically get the ball on end arounds and reverses and stuff like that. So I think there's going to be at least one gadget play in this game could come from either of these two teams because they have so many skill position players on offense. But I like over 2.5 players to have a pass attempt in this game at plus 155. It's a very fun one to root for. I'm just praying that the trick play in this game is not a flea flicker, because then you get it back to the quarterback and that kind of screws things up. But I think there's a lot of opportunities in here for another player to throw a ball.
If you do that, Cust has already pointed out Trent Taylor as someone that he likes in this game. So if you think the gadget play is running through him, it's probably not at this point.
Johnny Hecker, the punter for the Rams.
Bro, you remember Hecker back in the Super Bowl against the Patriots? People don't remember. Rob, remember I hit that a long time ago. It might have been like at the end of our tenure when we were both working together. I remember I go, this Hecker, like people don't understand. The guy's like, he's cool as a cucumber. Like he can throw the ball. That's a good point, Pizzola. He's one of those guys, he can actually execute properly.
Not only that, he actually is the holder as well for the field goals as well. So you have him on the field for potentially a fake punt, which the Rams have done a couple times this year. I believe they actually did it twice in one game, if I recall correctly, and fake field goals as well. I think it's most likely to come from a receiver. You got like Odell Beckham or Cooper Kupp on an end around that throws it downfield. Could come from anywhere, but it's a fun one to cheer for. And again, if you go just based off regular season stuff, people are going to be like, this is an insane bet, but it's the Super Bowl. We see these gadget plays all the time. Empty the playbook. I think we're going to get another gadget play in this Super Bowl.
And if people don't remember from even his Browns days, Odell has a cannon for an arm because they used him in those trick plays. Everyone always just remembers Landry as the guy that would throw the ball, but Beckham, they had that package for as well.
There's so many guys on the field for both these teams that are great skill position players that you could easily get them like in some sort of scenario where they're out on the run. Yes, Beckham does have a great arm. I've seen Kupp throw some balls as well. I'm trying to think of the Bengals if I've seen anyone offhand. I don't think I have, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's in their arsenal as well, especially considering the pass rush that the Rams are likely to have in this game. They're going to probably want to stretch those linebackers a little bit more east to west. It's a
Ryan. I think Pete Ryan has done it before, and boy.
No, I would say,
I'm guessing.
I would guess it's probably going to be Chase that you see do it because they love moving Chase across the formation with those reverses that all of a sudden he just stops and throws and no one's expecting it. Boom, you could have yourself a touchdown.
And also remember, like, I think the Bengals have struggled in the red zone all season long. They're 20th in terms of red zone efficiency. Remember back to the Super Bowl with Nick Foles, where they ran that play where he ends up catching the ball in the end zone for a touchdown. We've actually seen plays like that with Tom Brady before. I think that's a legitimate red zone play for either of these teams as well, where they hand it off and it gets thrown back to the quarterback who's wide open. So obviously I'm making an argument for my play, but I just think that there's value in this prop considering it's the Super Bowl and that it's, everything is on the table in this type of game.
All right, well, let's go to silver picks. Cam, what is your second most confident bet of the Super Bowl?
Keep it simple because you guys are going to be going through like most of the prop market here. I like the Bengals +4. I know a lot of people like the Rams in this game, and I've been riding underdogs the whole season, and I'm not going to stop now. The thing that I like about the Bengals is I think there's less pressure on these guys, and Joe Burrow is just a guy I don't want to bet against at LSU or here. And the thing about the Bengals, they make great second half adjustments. Look at the game against Kansas City, down 18 points. They come up with a game plan. They shut down Mahomes. I know Kansas City didn't execute and they didn't adapt well, but regardless, the Bengals find ways. Their secondary, Hilton's so underrated. Like, I can't believe the Steelers didn't pay this guy money. It's insane. Like, they're just getting better and better and better all the time. And I can tell you one thing, Matt Stafford could be good, but if things don't go well, it could be an absolute train wreck. I don't think this Bengals story is over. I'm going to take the 4 points with the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm also taking money line, but just for the mineral picks, I will take the 4. I expect it to be a close game, but I expect the Bengals to win the game by 3 points. I am taking the Cincinnati Bengals to win the Super Bowl. Let's rock.
Rob, do you have a lean on either side? Because I like the under 48.5 in this game. I like a lot of unders in this game, to tell you the truth. And that brings me to my silver pick, which is first touchdown comes after 10 minutes into the game of total runtime in the game, -120 at DraftKingsSportsbook.com right now. When you go back historically and look at it, in the past 14 Super Bowls, just once had an offensive touchdown been scored in the first 10 minutes of the game. That was the 2012 Ravens. Yeah, you might get a kickoff return, but that's a very unlikely scenario, a pick six, something like that. But generally speaking, teams start slow offensively in terms of touchdowns in the playoffs. They really want to secure the bag with the 3 points, Rob.
I agree with you. I think that this is something that's not like private info anymore. It's not a hidden edge, but it's still priced to the point where I think that there's value in early unders in the Super Bowl, whether that's the first quarter or the one that you just mentioned, Pat, in terms of not scoring in the first 10 minutes. We got two quarterbacks making their first career Super Bowl start. Tends to be a little bit jittery. You have the Bengals, who are a very heavy early down run rate team as well. I think they'll probably have a run heavy game plan coming out in this game. But for whatever reason, I don't know. I can obviously come up with a lot of theories as to why. We do see this consistently. I mean, maybe it's just nerves, and nerves play a factor with this being the biggest game that these guys are going to play in their lifetime for the most part. But yeah, this is something that I've had my eye on for a long time. For me, I would agree. My lean towards the game would be under. I don't really like the side or total, but yeah, I mean, I totally like that play, Pat.
All right. Silver pick for you, Mr. Pizzola.
I will give a silver pick. I'm going to give one more. I'm going to piggyback on what Cam said. Just for people out there, if you do like the Bengals, there's a prop on DraftKings. I have not seen it very many other places, but it's Super Bowl 56 winning margin. So just the winning margin, and under 8.5 is -110. I think that's a very good bet if you like the Bengals, because I don't think there's I'm not trashing the Bengals here, but I think the likelihood that the Bengals blow out the Rams is almost non-existent. The Rams tend to not get blown out in games. The biggest blowout they had this year, they lost to the Packers in Green Bay. They still ended up losing by 8 points in that game, so they would have covered this margin. So I think if you like the Bengals in the game, that's a very good prop bet to make at DraftKings. Under 8.5 points is the winning margin. So yeah, I'm just going to throw that out there as something to piggyback off of Cam's pick. For my silver player matchups on DraftKings, most receiving yards. So this is a matchup bet. I'm taking T. Higgins -125 against Odell Beckham Jr. I think T. Higgins is in for a big game here. Now, Jalen Ramsey is not going to cover Jamar Chase all over the field, because Jalen Ramsey usually plays one side of the field. But for the most part, he's going to end up matched up on Chase a lot. Higgins can expose the other corners that the Rams have. I think that's a matchup advantage, especially since he's a big receiver. And Odell Beckham, in my opinion, he's going to see a lot of Chidobe Awuzie, who is the best corner on the Cincinnati Bengals, consistently best graded cornerback all year long. Cooper Kupp plays a lot of the slot. Awuzie doesn't cover the slot. So now you have Odell Beckham seeing a lot of the best corner for the Bengals. You have T. Higgins facing worse corners for the most part for the Bengals against the Rams. I think that's a good bet. And also, I do think the Rams are going to win the game, because like one correlated thing I will say about this prop. If Odell Beckham ends up having a big first half, that actually lends itself to T. Higgins having a big second half, because the Rams tend to shut it down when they're in the lead. They get more conservative in nature. We've seen that throughout this playoffs, especially against the Bucs. So if there's a scenario where Odell Beckham gets well out ahead, I wouldn't even be worried all that much if I was having T. Higgins in my pocket, because it likely means that the Bengals are trailing. They will have to throw more, and he has some good matchup advantages. So I think that's a good value bet, -125. I think that one should be closer to -140.
Okay, so first TD after 10 minutes. Higgins over OBJ in receiving yards, and Cincinnati +4 are the silver selections. Let's move to bronze. Rob, what's your bronze pick?
I am going to go with something for fun here. It's not going to hit, but I'm going to say it anyways, because I think it's a valuable number. At DraftKings, Cam Akers to win the MVP, 35-1. It's an extreme long shot. No running back has won the MVP since Terrell Davis in the late 90s. So we're going on 24 years now. I tend to agree with Pat in that I could see this being a sneaky low-scoring game where potentially the quarterbacks don't put up massive numbers, and it's someone who pops a touchdown that ends up getting the MVP. On top of that, Stafford's the type of guy that is, I mean, let's call it out for what it is. He led the league in turnovers this year at the quarterback position. Any turnover is going to hurt the way that he's viewed in terms of MVP voters' eyes as well. So we look at how it's broken down. 20% of this is going to come from fan vote. 80% is going to come from media members. But I just feel like there's so many scenarios here where Akers gets into the end zone a couple of times, and that's enough for them to win the game, and they kind of grind out a win on their defense. That I think 35-1 is a playable long shot. Again, I'm not doing this for the record purposes. I could have picked something that's -500 if I wanted to pad my record. I'm trying to pick something that I think has value. I think Cam Akers should be priced closer. He's a starting running back for one of the teams priced at 35-1. You're talking about defensive players in this game that are priced at 15-1, less than half the price. I think that's a very, very good value bet that I will probably lose, but I will have a ticket on it. So Akers 35-1.
So the one issue I would have with that is that there could be a chance that Darrell Henderson is activated for this game. Then all of a sudden they have 3 running backs in the backfield and they start splitting it up with all these different things. I would feel better about it if Henderson was out.
Sean McVay is the type of coach that consistently rides one running back. Now, a lot of people look at the San Fran game. Sony Michel actually had more snaps on the field than Akers in that game. Akers had more carries, but Akers did get hurt midway through that game, left a little bit. And Sony Michel has kind of become the third down back. But consistently under McVay, even when they've had multiple healthy running backs, they tend to ride one of them into the ground. Akers has been garbage this postseason. Let's call it out for what it is. He's coming off an Achilles injury. He's had like 2.8 yards per carry. His success rate's been terrible. Couple extra weeks off to heal a little bit more. And potentially a game where he's going to get a ton of usage. Like if he breaks one big run, gets a couple touchdowns, like I said, he's easily in the conversation here. So McVay's characteristics as a coach lend itself to him usually riding one running back for the majority of the game. And that's why I think there's value in Akers.
Okay, so that's the bronze pick. Akers 35-1. I'm going to throw 3 that I actually have bet. They're not going to be my bronze picks, but I'm playing the super long shots in this game, Cam, and here are the ones that I'm going with. And I can give you the reasoning behind it, but I'll just throw it out here for you. Leonard Floyd, Jeff and I both bet it, 200-1 to be MVP. I have selected Eli Apple to be MVP, 250-1. And I've also thrown down on Logan Wilson, 500-1. To win the MVP. Just linebackers tend to pop up in these things. And if I think the game is going to be under, that means it could be one big play away from, a pick 6, a fumble 6, 2 sacks and a touchdown. That kind of thing could end up being the MVP if it's not a really high scoring game. That's when you start seeing the weird outlier winners. I say Logan Wilson because he has 4 picks this year. He's saying, listen, Stafford, no stranger to throwing picks. He just needs to be right place, right time. It's 500-1. It's not like you're spending a lot of money on this. But here's the Eli Apple reasoning. Eli Apple stinks. Like, he is awful. But what does that mean?
Get targeted.
He's just going to get targeted over and over. All it takes is for one bad Stafford pass. I mean, Mahomes threw it to him in the AFC Championship game. He just dropped it, but he was gone for 6 to win the game. That could more than happen in this game, and it's more that he is bad rather than he is good, so he will have more opportunities to actually score in this game.
I love the thought process behind it. I recorded an episode of Circles Off this week, which is a Super Bowl prop bets. And we had someone come on and say that he's betting Eric Weddle to win the MVP at 300-1 because he's a defensive player that's going to play 100% of the snaps. And when you get into those price ranges, I actually don't mind that argument because a pick 6 could be an MVP. I mean, we've seen players win MVPs just off of pick 6 before. So anyone who's on the field 100% of the snaps and is priced in that type of range where you start to get 200, 250, 300, even more than that. I'm not saying to go put $100 down on them, throw a few bucks here and there. You're very likely to lose, but you only need that to win. Like if someone's priced at 200-1, you need to win that 1 out of every 201 times that you bet it for it to be valuable. Does a defensive player win MVP 1 out of every 201 times? Yes, he does. I like your logic, Pat, especially guys that are going to be targeted in the game. I'd be much more likely to play one of those long shots than play Jalen Ramsey, for example, where they don't really want to throw anywhere near him for the most part.
And Ramsey and guys like Von Miller. I mean, Aaron Donald's sort of a special case because he could really have a special game. But Von Miller and Jalen Ramsey, their odds are bad because people know who they are.
Yeah, I agree. But like Aaron Donald is priced at 15-1. Like, come on. Like it's like I said, he's probably like you have starting running backs that are priced worse than him or like have potential to put up offensive numbers.
Yeah, you have, I mean,
think it's ridiculous.
Jamar Chase and Odell Odell is double the odds of Beckham right now.
Same thing with Mixon. I think Mixon for Cincinnati, like running backs don't get it. Say they have a couple times. The Rams bring it. Little dump off. He makes a move, scores, or P. Ryan, one of those guys. Like these running back numbers are crazy. Like Joe Mixon at 40-1 I get it. If Joe Burrow throws to everybody and their mother, it's going to be, it usually is going to happen that way. But running backs, you're right, Rob. Like at 35 and 40 to 1 for these guys, I think these numbers are ridiculous. Like Joe Mixon could have 2 touchdowns and be the MVP if Cincinnati wins this game. I'm not going to make it a bet. Like I'm betting it. It's not going to be like gold, silver, bronze, but I couldn't agree more with your Akers play. Okay,
Cam, do you have a bronze selection for us?
Yeah, you know what, Pat? I'm going to stick to the quarterback rushing market here. I did these bets right at the start. I like Matt Stafford over 5.5 yards rushing. I think this guy is starting to run the ball a lot more. I would actually look at Matt Stafford anytime touchdown as well. Have people not seen what he's been doing lately?
How about
actually getting touchdowns?
How about Matt Stafford 40 to 1 first touchdown?
How about Matt Stafford 2+ touchdowns 150 to 1?
The hell's going on here? Did we just go to the grocery store to Costco and just like fill the cart? No, I'm with you. Like ding, 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 ding. Pop, 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 pop. Yes, 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 and yes. This is what we're going to do, guys. Little sprinkle at 40 to 1. I like his over rushing. I like a touchdown. Those are the things. I think the quarterback props are way too low. You guys have seen the numbers. Matt Stafford is not by any stretch. I'm not going to say he's a fast quarterback or anything, but he's also doesn't have a wooden leg. Like the guy can move. I think he's going to get about 16 yards rushing. His props 5.5, and he's going to have to take off. And I think he's going to run a little bit more. And I love the touchdown thing. The guy can move enough to get in the end zone. Anytime touchdown, first touchdown. Couldn't agree more, guys. We're reading each other's mail. We haven't even talked or had a meeting, but whatever. We just call each other up on this thing and do the show. And I couldn't agree more. So I'm going to go Stafford over. And I love those other plays as well, Pat. Put them in the cart. Let's check out.
I have to point out one thing in relation to the quarterback rushing yards, because we did see it in the Super Bowl 2 years ago.
The Mahomes. I had the over.
What, the knee? The knee? I know.
Now,
get over the number by a few yards and we won't have to worry about that.
And hopefully Stafford takes like 1 yard kneels instead of going back like 8 yards from the line of scrimmage like Mahomes did when he was kneeling it out.
Yeah.
So you have to consider
I think the game's
that.
close though, Rob. Like I think that's the thing. I'm not worried about knees. I think it could be a final play. I think McPherson might kick a game-winning field goal. I think it's gonna. You talked about winning margin. I think the Bengals win the game by 3. If the Rams win, I think they win between 1 and 6. Same type of thing. So I'm hopefully don't have to deal with that crap.
That's why I went to the rushing attempt market rather than the rushing yards market.
Good call.
I felt like those numbers were so low that if the rushing yards were going to hit, they were more likely going to hit the over in terms of the rushing attempts. And then you're not concerned about them going backwards at all.
Well, if the Bengals get to the 2-minute warning late in the game with the lead and the Rams have no timeouts, you get boom, 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 3 kneels to cash your rushing attempts over 2.5. Yeah, that's just the one thing people forget about when it comes. And that's the only reason I pointed out for anyone who's betting it. You always have to sweat it till the end of the game, because even if you're a couple yards ahead of that total, if Stafford has an 8-yard rush, 10-yard rush, something like that, then you're sweating out potential kneels at the end of the game. And people forget about that. But that's it. I don't disagree. I actually like people always look at the regular season rushing yardage for these quarterbacks. It's not the same game. The playoffs is very different. Regular season, these guys want to get through, get healthy. Matt Stafford had a bad back for half the season. You think the guy's going to take off in the pocket on 3rd down? He's not going to do that. This is the game. This is the final game of the year, Super Bowl. Like this is Matt Stafford's Hall of Fame game. If he sees an opportunity to run, he's going to run the ball. And he's going to catch a touchdown in this game as well, by the way. And we're both going to catch our bets. So, yeah.
That's big nuts. Wow, it looks like we're shopping at Stafford's. Like, what's going on here?
So Stafford first TD, Stafford 2 TDs rushing or receiving, and anytime TD. Perfect.
What is Stafford receiving touchdown? What's the number?
I've actually not seen it listed anywhere. So anytime touchdown, if he catches it, would count.
Yes, exactly.
It would count as well. So
wow.
If people are thinking about playing MVP odds, like Stafford is plus 100 in order to win, Joe Burrow is plus 225 to win MVP, I feel like you can tell yourself a story with a same game parlay that are much better than those odds, Rob.
Good call,
Pat. I agree with you. I agree with that. People can utilize the same game parlays however they want, but not consistently. If you're going to bet on something and you can put together a same game parlay that has similar outcomes, you should be price matching, right? Put the same game parlay together, see what it pays, check what the bet pays, figure it out. But yeah, in this instance, you could do all sorts of stuff connected with Matt Stafford that probably would pay much better than plus 100.
Well, how about this? I mean, Burrow is plus 250 to win MVP right now. But you can do a same game parlay of Bengals money line and Joe Burrow over 254 passing yards, and it pays 3 to 1. So you get better odds. And I feel like you would have to do those two things in order to win MVP.
Maybe. So it's actually counterintuitive to what you would think. I would agree that that's probably the case, but you have to remember a lot of times the guys that win MVP, their teams are leading a lot of the game. So you do get a lot of scenarios here where potentially the Bengals are leading, Burrow would still win MVP, and they're really trying to drain clock towards the end of the game. So maybe not as much conducive to the passing yardage as it would be to potentially passing touchdowns, where they would need the touchdowns to get to that point. You know what I'm saying, Pat?
Well, I'm just looking at the MVPs right now. Only one player who is a quarterback who won the MVP went under that number, and that was Brady last year.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Since like way back when. Like even just to look at it, 286 for Patrick Mahomes, 373 for Foles, 466 for Tom Brady, 287 for Flacco, 296 for Eli, 304 for Rodgers, 288 for Breeze, 255 for Eli Manning. You would have to go back to Peyton Manning, 247 in Super Bowl 41. 41? Yeah, 40.
So that's the one with the Colts and Bears?
Yes.
That game sucked.
Yeah,
Rex Grossman, that was gross.
I can see this game being like that one.
Game. I puked like I remember I never drank more. That's probably the day I drank. Like I think I should have died. I remember I puked like buckets that day. It was like that Super Bowl. I don't know what happened. I got sick. I drank food poisoning or something. It was just that whole day blew. That was one of the worst Super Bowls ever.
So here's my last one. I want to run it by you because I can play it one of two ways. I like the over total sacks in this game of 5.5.
So do I.
You get plus 110 on that at DraftKings Sportsbook right now. But I actually feel like Leonard Floyd has 9 sacks so far this season. I bet him to win MVP. Leonard Floyd for a sack in this game is plus 130. Feel like that's going to come through because that line has to double team Aaron Donald, and you guys are just going to be running at Burrow the entire time.
So my concern is that no, it's not that. It's that the Bengals really come out and they just try to get the ball out of Burrow's hands very quickly. I don't know how long they can do that for the course of the game, but they run a lot of screens, whether that's the wide receivers or running backs, but they really make a point of emphasis of we're just going to have this guy take three-step drops, get the ball out very quickly. 5.5 is a large number, right? Typically regular season games, you would not see that type of number. You don't normally see 4.5, even 3.5 in some games. So,
but
I don't know.
But I'm also relying on Cincinnati to come through with 2 or 3 of their own here because their pass rush is no slouch.
It's not, but they drop. So Cincinnati in the playoffs have been dropping 8 into coverage a lot. It's basically how they beat the Chiefs in the second half, right? Because the Chiefs had whatever they wanted in the first half. Second half, they drop 8 into coverage over and over, and Andy Reid refuses to run the ball. They still keep throwing the ball with 8 in coverage. They couldn't do anything. I don't know. I don't really love that one. That's my personal preference. I do see the mismatches on the line of scrimmage, but the number is high. And I feel like, I don't think I could get there on over 5.5.
All right. So this is why I wanted to run it by you guys. Leonard Floyd.
No, but Cam agrees. Cam likes this one.
Listen, I mean, the Bengals dropped Mahomes 4 times in the AFC Championship game, which is pretty surprising to tell you the truth.
You know what it is, guys? I like everything. Like you brought a lot to the table. It's kind of like you invite me over, Mayo. Like you got bacon wrapped scallops. I'm eating them. You got wings. I'm literally going to carve up the chicken. You guys leave anything out, booze, I'll drink it. Like there's nothing that gets left behind. That's the thing. I think we've come up with some really good stuff. Like, you know what I mean? And the sack's over. Let's remember one thing too. This Cincinnati front is kind of dangerous. Like, I don't think the Bengals defense on the whole is getting the respect it deserves in the game. Rob, I don't know. You have the metrics and the numbers to back it up. I use sometimes the eye test, and I see a team that's getting more opportunistic as the playoffs go on. They have guys in the secondary. They're growing other than Apple. Like, you know what I mean? I think there's some real talent back there. Hendrickson can get to the quarterback. Other guys can too. I love it. I think sacks over is going to be good. And I agree with you, Pat, with the Rams. Like they're going to be looking at Von Miller and Donald to do all the damage. I think it's going to be coming from some other guys in the game. I think it's a very smart bet.
So Leonard Floyd plus 130 for an anytime sack is going to be my bronze selection. I stayed away from all the Tyler Boyd props, although I really want to bet over Tyler Boyd everything because I do think that's where you attack the Rams on the field is in between the hash marks, which is where Tyler Boyd runs the majority of his routes. You can get Cincinnati money line plus Tyler Boyd anytime touchdown 7-1 at DraftKings Sportsbook if you really like Tyler Boyd.
I do. As I said, I like everything. I don't know. Honestly, like we threw in a lot of bets today. There's not one like Pizzola, you're better than me. Like, you're breaking it down, but like, I think we came up with some like interesting stuff that like, it's going to be one of those games. Here's the thing, like all the obvious stuff, you said it, like Aaron Donald with his number for MVP and stuff like that. I think we're thinking outside the box. I think a lot of secondary players do well in this game, right? Like that's the thing. Like, I don't think it's going to be like this star driven game and the narratives. Like, I don't know. Like, what about total field goals in this game? I could see like McPherson nuts everything. This guy's a wicked kicker for Cincinnati. But the problem is, I'm not betting him MVP because it's the hipster pick. Like, you want to give me like 150 to 1 on a kicker? I'm listening because I think he can get 4 field goals and Cincinnati takes 3s. Maybe the game-winning field goal if it's a 56-yarder. Something like that.
It's all about the price.
You don't want Evan McPherson 30 to 1 Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah, are you kidding me, Pat? That's honestly, it's like a golf tournament. I got a guy to pick him. I'm laying juice. Fuck off. Like, honest to God, like I know he's a hot story, but you got to give me something over like 70 or 80 before I even take a look at that. 30 to 1 for a kicker. Like that's nuts.
But when certain guys are priced like that, it creates value on others.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, it does.
And if everybody's sinking the same way, like Aaron Donald's going to win the MVP and he's a defensive player priced 15 to 1, then so be it. There's going to be value on someone else in the market because people are betting Aaron Donald. So it's all relative to price. I mean, some of these, like I said, Cam said Mixon, I said Akers. I don't think these guys are going to win necessarily, but if we go back to past Super Bowls and you look at what the starting running back is priced at, they're half this. They're in the 15 to 1 range, 20 to 1 range, sometimes even lower than that, single digits. So, it's a unique Super Bowl where we have everyone knows that the Rams defensive line has a big advantage. So people want to bet Rams defensive players. They want to bet Cincinnati's kicker, who's been lights out in the playoffs. Probably Cooper Kupp going to get a ton of bets as well and a lot of exposure. Outside of that, you could probably find value on a lot of people on the board.
If you want to play this individually or a same game parlay, this is the grossest one you could ever do. It's not over field goals, Cam. It's over 6.5 punts.
What do you think about that?
I like it. Both for all the talk that McVay and now Zach Taylor get for being like super sharp coaches, they love fucking punting on 4th and 3. They love it.
And another fucking thing, you're right, Pat. If you like that first prop that you had with the 10 minutes scoring, it's going to be dry for a while. Punt, 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 punt. Like we might get like to start the game 3 or 4 punts, and then here's the thing. And you know what? McVay was a little bit aggressive with his Rob, and I agree with you. Like we debate about Stefanski and stuff, but you got to admit this. The game against San Francisco, you can't fucking challenge a thing that's never going to be overturned by like an inch. Like, are you stupid? It does not happen.
I agree.
You got to save that stuff. And you're lucky that San Francisco and Jimmy Garoppolo fucked that game up. Because
why am I lucky? What am I lucky about?
Yeah, we were all unlucky. They dropped the pick to win the game.
No, I understand. No, I'm saying McVay's very lucky. Sorry, guys, I'm working till 3:00. I don't even know where I am right now. He is lucky because he burned his challenges and everything, and San Francisco imploded. Yeah, you're damn right the Niners should have won the game. We had him on the spread, whatever. We made money. I'm just saying, though, this guy, he screwed up in that game. I'm with you. I think they like all of a sudden he's not going to just be, I'm Mr. Aggressive or whatever. He did some stupid stuff. I can see these guys punting. Like,
well, McVay's lucky that Shanahan was a meatball and punted on 4th and 1.
Exactly, Rob.
Like, listen, we've talked. To me, there's different characteristics that make up a good coach. To me, McVay's a very good coach. His in-game decision-making is not what makes him a good coach. He doesn't know how to use his challenges, for one. His timeouts late in the game are very questionable when he uses them, which side of the 2-minute warning. And on top of that, his 4th down decision-making. I will say, though, latter half of the year, they have been much more aggressive on 4th down. Zach Taylor is the guy that he will kick a field. And because his kicker is so good as well, they're very likely to kick field goals. So I don't know. I mean, I would let's be real here. Like the Rams have a coaching advantage. I'm not saying McVay's Bill Belichick or anything like that, but I'm taking McVay as my coach over Zach Taylor any day of the week.
All right. That was a fun year, guys.
It was a fun year.
We did wicked with the gold picks this year. Like, honest to God, Pat, I'm going to tell you something that's never going to happen again in my lifetime. And I'm just mad at myself that I didn't bet more money, Pat, but unfortunately I have a mortgage. I did have some good news the other day. This Polish lady came up to me and said, hey, they're building like a super RT. They're having like a hub where I live and all these property values are going through the roof. I might have to attack and sell. Like, you know,
but then you have to buy somewhere else.
I get over $900,000. Like you should see my place. You know what? You can take it. You can fix it up. And you know what? I'm out of here. And I'm going to go buy a place in like by Niagara Falls or whatever and pocket $400K. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye. I'm out of here.
That's a smart move. That's what I was saying is like, obviously the real estate market is, I live in a $1.5 million semi-detached home. Anyone who pays $1.5 million for this house, I'd feel very, very sorry for them. Like it's a complete ripoff. But what am I going to do? If I sell this, I got to move somewhere else. And the market has gone crazy, but I'm just happy you're alive this week, Cam, and you wore blacks to not affect the Bloods and the Crips or anything like that. So good call on your part. It worked out.
I went to Joe's Liquor in like a very dangerous area, but it worked out. Like this guy came in with a bandana over his mouth. I'm like, hey, I like your beer, Delirium. Like I said, they stopped selling that stuff by my bar because like people were drinking it and like falling down. It's like basically like smoking a 20 paper. It's good beer. He's like, we had a good laugh. You know, my doctor told me if I'm going to have beers, drink Guinness. Like, you know what I mean? I go, the darker, the better. We're having a good laugh. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, probably shouldn't have like started up a conversation like that. It wasn't like a great instinct, but the guy turned out to be cool. I guess I got lucky. Here's some more traveling tips for people too. The area of Glendale, like be careful when you're going to California. They got a lot of water issues. The over under on clogged toilets this week. I hit the over on day 3. Every single day I've had a clogged toilet. I don't understand why they don't let you use the plunger. They don't want you to touch the water. They want to bring in the guy. I like the guy. I don't want to bother him every day. I go, just leave the damn plunger. They don't. Be careful. So be careful with the toilet paper that you buy. Another thing is I bought the Northern Plush, whatever, 4-ply. I'm telling you this hotel paper, it's like I'm using rocks in my butt. I always make a move. Go to the store, buy a little thing of detergent. If you need to wash underwear and socks in the sink, you got that. And you got toilet paper as well. Just some great travel tips for everybody. That's what I like to do. And a bar of soap too. Hotel soap sucks. I got Dove's Men Care. It's taking care of business right now. I'm on my feet all day.
Based off of the conversations we've had over the course of this year, I'm starting to think the toilet clogging might be a Cam problem.
It's not. The guy even said it's a city of Glendale, California problem. And Morency clogged his toilet on the first day. And trust me, he doesn't do the same things I do or eat like I do.
Well, he drinks a lot. He drinks booze. You know, you can get some. It can be problems after.
I got a lot of fiber in my diet now. That's all I'm trying to live better. But anyway, I'm just telling you tips. You got to be careful with toilet paper in hotels. The hotel's actually very nice. It's got 2 TVs in it and a lounge. I'm enjoying it.
Well, Cam, if you have some downtime, you just want to stay in your hotel room. I know you enjoy a good crime documentary. Have you checked out The Tinder Swindler on Netflix yet?
Never even heard of it. Tinder Swindler? Yeah. I didn't even watch, I got Datelines and stuff that I got to come back to all on the PVR. No, this sounds fantastic, Pat. Send me the information. I'd love to hear about it.
It's on Netflix. You just go and click on Netflix.
Oh, I do. I think I have Netflix.
Send me the information.
There you go.
And by the way, yes, I do have Netflix, but my girlfriend's got the code. But yeah, that's Bad Sport. And Morency was telling me something about Dogs of Berlin. It's like a crazy crime where the guy bets on international soccer and stuff. Anyway, I heard that one's good too. I haven't got around to it, but thank you, Patrick. I'm going to be down with that. I love a good crime story.
Oh, you can go reverse engineer it too. And you can go with Don't Fuck with Cats, which is one of the crazier documentaries.
That's
I've
about
seen.
the Magnotta. The Magnotta case.
Oh, Luca Magnotta.
That one, yeah.
Hey, guy's a vampire for God's sakes. Yeah, he's a disgrace to Canada.
It was a good documentary until they butchered the name of Etobicoke.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Buddy, on CNN the other day. Did you see the font? Did you see the font? They spelled Ottawa wrong. It's our fucking nation's capital, you moron. Hey, font guy, you're fucking out of here. You're fired. Jerk off.
We've had some bad Chiron.
That's embarrassing, Patrick. You work at a major network and you're spelling Ottawa wrong.
Hey, look, listen. I want to criticize people for font and Chiron errors, but Mayo Media Network can't do that. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. You're right. I got my own problems, but you guys are seeing. You got to spell Ottawa right. That's just
it's true. We don't have the font checker like a lot of these major networks do. Hence, sometimes we have a typo or two. But yes, that shouldn't be going through at a major network where it is someone's job to look at all these things.
So it's called the Tinder Murders and Burning Cats.
No,
Don't F with cats.
Yeah, don't fuck with cats.
F with cats. And it's about Magnotta?
Yes. And the other one's called The Tinder Swindler. It's not great, but it's really interesting.
You know what, Pat? Send me the information.
It's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix. There's no information to be sent. It's a search function.
Oh, okay. Yeah. When I get back from Vegas and I want some downtime and sleep and lie in bed and watch it. No, this sounds absolutely amazing. I appreciate it, guys.
And then we'll have you back on.
What are you doing for the Super Bowl?
I'm
going to a party or?
Well, I am hosting. Mayo Media Network is hosting its first ever Super Bowl party. So that's what we're
amazing. I wish I was there, Pat. That would have been great. We could have gone to the casino and got absolutely torqued.
Well, when you sell 20 Bitcoin in the year 2017 to renovate your basement, like I did, you best be hosting some Super Bowl parties in there, like I will be.
I hear
doing
a lot about the problem with currency, the way we're printing money. I might have to get into the crypto market pretty soon, Rob. We'll talk about this.
Never too late. I'll send you the information, Cam.
No, you've already missed crypto. You've missed NFTs. What you need to start doing now is buying virtual property in the metaverse, Cam. That's where the next step is.
It's true.
You sell your house and
Decentraland.
Listen, you sell your house, you bank your $400K, pay $400K for a piece of property on a computer. You'll be good.
Hey, I don't even know. Honestly, guys, I'm just happy that the Polish realtor told me like my place is going up in value. Like it literally made my day. I was fucking shoveling snow before I came here. I am done with the GTA. Honest to God, like I'm done.
When you said that, I was worried you were going to say that someone sold you a reverse mortgage.
I'm just shocked.
First thing, hi, I'm Kurt Browning, a Canadian Olympic skater for the reverse mortgage. I'm like, the reverse, like even I know the reverse mortgage is the worst deal in town. Like you cannot be working on a reverse mortgage. That's a sucker's play.
I'm just shocked that it took your Polish realtor to tell you that your house is appreciated in value over the course of the last 2 years. Have you been living in under an actual rock? Everything is going. They're selling garages for $1 million.
I knew that, man. I just didn't know my complex. It's so cookie cutter, whatever. I knew it went up like a little bit. I just didn't realize this new hub that they're building literally up the street from me by the beer store and liquor store on Dundas and friggin' Hill, whatever. Like it's a huge hub for transportation. I thought my property would go up a little bit. It's going up a good chunk, and it's enough to say I'm fucking gone. I'm going to live in Niagara Falls. I'm going to get a house, hopefully a sauna, and bank some money and have some fun. It's time.
Why not go cheaper and move to Halifax is all I'm saying.
Yeah, actually, I talked to the lady about that. We have to stay in Ontario for reasons like my parents getting older and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I got to stay in the region for now, Pat, but in the future, I'm an East Coast guy. You know me. I love drinking and I love seafood. It's perfect. And it's got a casino. Win, win, win.
Well, that casino is...
Shut up, Robbie. Come on.
Have you been to that? Have you been to the casino there? Have you been to the Halifax casino?
I have.
4 tables.
What?
I grew up at the Halifax casino.
Well, so did I.
There's casinos in the Halifax casinos. You pound a couple Don Airs and you hit the felt. It's fine. It's fine. Like, what do you want them to roll out like a diamond encrusted carpet? It's the Halifax casino.
I'm aware, but you're proving my point right here. You're like, it's fine. What do you want them to? There's literally like 3 tables on the floor there. If you go to play poker in the poker pit, I mean, good luck getting a seat there. You're probably waiting for 3 hours because they can't find anyone to play.
That's why. That is absolutely not true. It's now up to 4 tables. There's a new room. You need to call in advance because you're on a waiting list for like 2 hours before you get a seat.
You can only be on the poker waiting list for 1 hour. Believe me, Pat, I've lived through this for a large majority of my life. Very frustrating times.
I've lived here for 30 years. I know the tricks of the casino here.
Okay. Well, I'm saying
I love you guys. This is great.
They put me on the list for an hour. I would show up.
Yeah, because they heard you talk. It sounds like you're from fucking Ontario, and they were like, "Fuck this guy."
Well, thing is,
you have to know how East Coasters are about people from Ontario.
I am, and they
if you have 12
and I don't
players,
give a shit. That's why I'm welcome in the casino.
If you have 12 players in the poker room, you have 10 seated at a table. The other 2 are waiting forever because there's never going to be a second table. And those 10 are never going to get up from that table because they know that if they do, they're not coming back to another table.
You know what?
It's impossible to play in that casino.
I fucking hate poker. Why would I have enough problems in my life? Why would I want to take strangers' money? I want to help these people. Honestly, I like blackjack. I can do my own thing. It's us versus them.
Where do you think them is getting their money from, Cam?
No, I'm just saying, playing poker, you could have a stranger who's got a gambling problem. Like you're beating them down. Rob, you're an intelligent guy. You probably do pretty well in poker. I just don't want to be that guy to say this guy got fleeced.
I'm also thinking you might not have the patience for poker, Cam.
Well,
I don't, Patrick. I don't.
Or the facial characteristic.
Oh yeah, I remember first time I played poker, I lost a paycheck. They're like, Cam's holding. I'm sweating. I'm like purple. I'm like, oh god. Like I would literally, if I played poker, it'd have to be like, what's that old musician Nash the Slash, like dressed up as a mummy with tape and like just a couple eye holes, or wear a balaclava. Like I could literally, Rob, you would know. I bet you could guess every card in my hand with my eyebrows being blonde, facial expressions, and hue and tint. Correct.
I would say you would probably be a pretty easy guy to read. You'd have to wear a balaclava or something.
I've never won poker. I donated in poker. I'm like, I'm done with this game. If I played poker my whole life, I'd be living in a ditch. I tell you that, with a rock for a pillow.
That
excellent year, guys.
Was the season finale of the Best Bet show. We'll reconvene once every 6 weeks or so, or something like that, to give people some picks. Maybe NCAA tournament, whatever some major event is. Yeah. I'm sure we can do stuff around that, because I really enjoyed doing the show. I know that people really enjoyed watching the show. So please rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts. Leave us a review if you enjoyed this as well. Sub to the network. You can follow Rob Pizzola, Bobby Pizzas on Twitter. What are you, at Rob Pizzola? Very verified. The only one of us who's verified.
Is that true? I don't even
know.
Rob
Pizzola at ifleasepeopleinnpokerrooms.ca/.
Okay, but Cam, when you go to play blackjack, okay, you're like, oh, there's these problem gaming poker players. There's a lot of problem gaming table games players who lose money to the casino, and then when you win, the casino's paying you with those people's money. This is what I'm trying to get across.
Rob, I still love you as a human being. I have my own poker issues, and I'm taking it out on you. I can't play poker due to my way I look, my face, and my perspiration.
Got it. So it's nothing against me. It's against the game.
I'm just, I'm venting at you.
Okay.
I don't like taking whatever. Let's end this conversation.
Cam Stewart, Sports Grid, is on Radio Row right now. You can catch him live. Is that being broadcast on Sirius too?
Yeah, we're on Sirius for the first hour, Pat. Today, I think we got gambler Brandon Lang. If he doesn't give us 2 props, we're going to kick him right off the set. Well,
there you go. You have gambler Brandon Lang.
You want to talk about gambling? Yeah, we've been doing it for 35 years. Thanks.
Yeah.
Anyway, and Bill Romanowski. Hi, guys. I'll tell you, I don't know what the fuck they're doing at the bottom of the pile. First, they're grabbing my nuts. They're raking my eyes. You wouldn't believe the shit that goes on down there. And try my fish oils. And we got new drink, too. Omega makes you real smart. Talk to you guys next week. Yeah, we got Romo and a couple other handicappers. Whoever shows up. A cheerleader from some team. Hopefully we'll steal some Old Spice people and somebody from Sleep Number. A lot of Dallas Cowboys at Sleep Number, Rob. They really like to sleep.
They slept all through the playoffs, I'll tell you.
Damn
that.
Right, they did.
So you have Brandon Lang later. You just talked to someone who looks like Katie Lang. So I think you're pretty good to go.
I think so too, Pat. I just want to get out of this week alive and get to Vegas, to be honest with you.
All right. And hopefully I'll see you there. Thank you all for tuning in all season long. Smash the like on the way out. Sub to the network in the newsletter. Code MMNNFL at prizepicks.com for that Joe Burrow prop. Put down 5 on an entry. Get $100 if he passes for over a yard. Easy money. I'm Pat Mayo. I'll see you next time.
Pat Mayo Experience! Experience!